going to run slants through traffic today.
No, and you're not going to get hit, so you should be able to catch it. But everybody's watching if you catch the ball with your hands. You know, you can tell what kind of body control you have. Like when a deep ball's thrown, can you go up off one foot? Can you catch it? Can you plant? Can you move? Are you running these routes correctly? Does it take you a little bit of time to break down as opposed to just being able to stop on a dime and make a cut? I think you could see a lot. We did A.J. Green's a couple years ago, and it was like he was just floating out there. You know, I mean, it was really impressive, and you knew he was going to be a great player. And Tavares has definitely got some good speed. He showed you that at the combine. You just want to see him run those routes.
Marlon Brown was also on the list today. He suffered a torn ACL late in the season against Ole Miss. So, you know, you wouldn't expect him to be out here participating in this stuff. But as an outgoing player, you still want to have the opportunity to get measured, whether you're going to be a free agent or end up in a camp. You certainly want to be on everybody's list.
Yeah, and he's a guy that really broke out his senior year and was having a really good season. Georgia's offense had completely changed, and they'd spread it out and gone 5 wide receivers, and then Michael Bennett tears his ACL, Marlon Brown tears his ACL. Malcolm Mitchell pulls a hamstring, and they start getting beat up and have to change their offense and the way they run it a little bit. But Marlon Brown is huge, 6'5", 220 pounds, can run. Like I said, came on this year. He'll be an interesting prospect just to see with his ACL how far along he is. I mean, after what I saw, there's a Vikings hat. After what I saw Adrian Peterson do this past year,
right? When
I saw him running the football, I was in my hotel room trying to tear my ACL running up the wall. I'm like, come on, man. Yeah. Let me find a way to do that. Whatever that guy's got, I want.
He has skewed all expectations for every athlete who suffers a torn ACL. People need to remember
Look, I'm trying to tear both of mine. Maybe I can start jumping a little higher.
I don't know if that's going to help you in the broadcast booth.
No, that's true. That's valid.
Tavares King came to Georgia as the Georgia Gatorade Player of the Year. 99 catches his senior year in high school and 17 touchdowns. In his career, turned in 7 100-yard receiving games. Caught 21 touchdown passes. It's 3rd all-time in school history and 4th all-time at Georgia with better than 2,600 yards receiving. Those are pretty good numbers. It helps to have a pretty good quarterback in Aaron Murray slinging the ball to you.
Well, who was before him?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
He had Matthew Stafford for a little while as well, so that doesn't hurt either. But he's definitely been he's stayed pretty healthy throughout his career. He's been very dependable, very durable. He showed up in some big time games too. I mean, especially this last year in the Alabama game when they needed some big plays. Took some shots over the middle, made some catches, and Aaron's like, I tell you, Aaron, he'll take him back.
Georgia quarterback will be right out here this afternoon as Bulldog spring ball continues here in Athens.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy, nice. Nice.
Tavares King was an early enrollee coming out of within the state. Now, Georgia, as they continue spring practice today, has 13 early enrollees. That's a lot of guys to get acclimated to your system right off the bat.
That's huge. I mean, that's a big-time advantage because now you get guys that, I mean, and it's not just football. I mean, you get acclimated to classes, but more importantly, you go through spring training. And I'm talking about spring weightlifting because you don't have a clue what you're doing in high school lifting, dude. I mean, you come in and you're like, yeah, I'm swole. I'm the strongest guy on my team in high school. And then you come in and you're like, oh, my gosh, what did I just get myself into? So you get in here with Coach T and you start doing squats and cleans and deadlifts. And That's where you start to get that man body and start to get grown. And I think, getting guys in early, and then they get adapted and acclimated to the system. They get the playbook. They start to learn it. They start to know it. They've been through practices, so they know what to expect when you come in the fall. And definitely a huge advantage being able to come into spring ball.
A first rounder is a first rounder, but is there, in your mind, any correlation to getting that first semester in and preparing for the next step? I mean, you're talking 3 and 4 years down the road, but is there any correlation there?
Well, I just think that if you get in early, you're going to play as a freshman. That's the correlation. I think all these guys that come in that get the workouts, then get to work out in the summer and get acclimated, that they're going to be on the field in some way, shape, or form. They're not going to be redshirt guys. And unless they're injured, they'll probably be contributing to the football team in the fall.
Yeah.
The other guys, when you come in a little bit behind, a few steps behind all those other freshmen, it's a lot harder for you to get on the field quicker.
Oh, and it's obviously a bigger challenge going from high school ball to Death Valley. Primetime game, first game of the season for this Georgia team.
And it is Death Valley, because I told Clemson and LSU fans, whoever won that bowl game, Chick-fil-A Bowl,
they could own it?
They own Death Valley. So the real Death Valley next year, week 1, is Clemson.
All right, so I'm in Baton Rouge next week. I'll let the folks know if they don't already.
Let them know,
just
dog.
Peel it
Should
off.
have won the game.
It
It's their own fault.
All right, we're going to step away for a break as they continue with the wide receivers drill. We'll try to talk with John Jenkins when we return here to Athens in a moment. What's up? You know I'm following you.
How you doing? Good. Good to see you. Doing well. I'm centering. I got to center you now. Too chilly. Oh, absolutely. I'm going to sit here for a second. Hey, Bab. Center shot. Yeah, it's going to be single for now. David had to go up to do interviews.
You don't have to wait. It's a 500 right here.
I don't know how we're going to get there.
I guess he wants you to run. It's a 500 right there. I just need to unattach and connect it. Or you can just connect. You can carry the whole thing out.
Well, I'm going to do Bob's going to do the best he can to get there. But
You want us to do that?
we are.
You want to take that?
We need that. We need that.
I'll do that.
We need that space.
I'll show you.
Put this at the bottom of your pile. So you're put that at the bottom of your pile. That's your closed copy.
Okay.
I think this will be our last segment. It's like 12:15, isn't it?
Yeah. Our coverage continues from Athens, Georgia, and Georgia Pro Day. We're at the Woodruff practice field here in Athens as former Bulldogs go through their final paces in front of the NFL scouts and coaches to prepare themselves for the next step of their career. What is a gorgeous but chilly day here. And while some teams get their workouts in indoors for the most part, this pro day here in Athens has taken place outside on a sunny but chilly day. Started out with temperatures in the mid-30s. And the first drill that the guys did when they came out to the field outside was perhaps the most important, running the 40. All right, now Tavares Keene getting his work in the wide receiver drills with quarterback John Richt, who played his college ball at Mars Hill College after starting at Clemson. Falcons head coach Mike Smith looking on. They're set in the quarterback position for at least a little bit. One of the benefits to pro day on your own campus is typically for both quarterbacks and receivers getting and giving passes to guys that you know well. Well, that's not the case today with John Richt and Tavares King. One of Mark Richt's 4 children. And with Marlon Brown still recovering from his torn ACL, Tavares King is really the only wide receiver to get work here today. And so it's nonstop for him. Richard Samuel, the running back, has gotten some work out of the backfield in these passing drills. Nine touchdowns last season for King, as John Richt's able to put one right over his shoulder and lay it in down the sideline. Good opportunity for John Richt to get a workout in front of the scouts. And here's a guy who's been seen by all the scouts. David Pollock standing by with John Jenkins.
Yeah, I got big John Jenkins, and I made sure I got the high ground because I really look like a little brother out here. But how good does it feel just to be done now?
I mean, it feels good, man. There was a lot of questions out there, even though because I didn't do my combine. And I did a little bit at the Senior Bowl, but a lot of people still had questions. And for me to come out here and perform the way I did, I think I answered a lot of questions.
What were you most looking forward to? What question were you most looking forward to getting answered?
I knew I weighed like around 340. You know, I came a long way from 374 down to 340. But a lot of people still want to know if I was able to move. You know, the 40. Everybody wanted to see me run the 40. I think I did good on the 40, and showing my position drills, I was a little smooth than a lot of people expected me to be.
So, what did we do to change to go from 370 to 340? What was that diet difference?
I mean, it was a lot of focus on my workouts. You know, when you're in college, man, you have a lot of obligations as far as school, workouts here and there, things such as that. So now this is my job. This is what I do. It's a lifestyle. So it's a lot more focus on my workouts, my health, and I got a lot of resources to make sure I eat right.
Are you looking forward now to getting past the gymnastic meets and all this crap that you have to go through now and getting towards football?
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's the most you're looking forward to now? Because now, like, it seems like everything's done now. So what do you have left now until draft?
Nothing. Just, you know what I mean, maintain my eating habits. You know, to keep staying on my health, work out still. I'm really looking forward to my name being called. I mean, I feel like I performed, and I'm just waiting for my name to be called.
Well, do you have a spot or a location in the region where you'd like to go, or do you just? I know you don't care because when I was coming out, money's money. I just want to get paid. But as far as any team that you've talked to that you've really enjoyed or that you've met with that you said, okay, I had a good chemistry with them.
I mean, you know the process. You know, you'll meet one side of the coach, but you don't get to see the coaching side of the coach. You know what I mean? So right now, everybody is nice. Everybody like giving their character of being a nice guy till they pick you, and then next you know you see their real character. So I mean,
you got it right.
So I mean, I'm just looking for it. It really doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? I just want to get called and just be able to perform.
It's kind of like when you get recruited in college. They love you. They're all nice, and then all of a sudden, oh Lord have mercy, what did I get myself into? But all right, Tom, Big John Jenkins just tackled this workout.
All right, David, thank you so much. Great job by John Jenkins today as we see him running the 40. Talked about keeping that weight down, keep his eating habits where they need to be. If he's dropped considerable weight and he can still move for a big guy, and certainly he's all over the boards of everybody. He didn't participate in a lot of these things at the combine, so today he turned in a 5.340, vertical of 24.5, and a broad jump of 8 feet, 7.73 in the 3-cone drill. And it's safe to say that he represented well here today as Georgia is looking at the possibility of 3 first-round draft picks. And depending on you ask, maybe Jenkins leads the way. Alec Ogletree, we talked to him a little bit earlier. Todd McShay has him going middle of the first round to New Orleans. A little bit later, there's Jarvis Jones. And McShay says to Pittsburgh, and then John Jenkins, 26th overall to Green Bay, according to the mock draft for Todd McShay. Here's what Jones turned in at the combine compared to today. Remember, he didn't participate really at all in Indianapolis. And so a 4.85 vertical of 30.5, broad jump of 9.3, and a 7.45 in the three-cone drill. He did 20 reps on the bench here today indoors before they came outside in this sunny but crisp and cool day here in Athens. Tom Hart alongside David Pollock. So everything wrapping up here in Athens for a team that finished in the top 5 nationally with just a couple of losses and 4 yards short of an SEC title and a berth in the BCS National Championship game. For all of these former Dogs, though, it's on to the next thing. The pride and passion of college football gives way to one of the most incredible job interviews they'll ever go through as they prepare for the NFL draft. And so a very inclusive, all-inclusive afternoon here, or morning here in Athens, as Mike Tomlin and the guys from various organizations, every team represented here today, with scouts and many with head coaches on hand, able to watch what these former Bulldogs were able to do on the field. And as they wrap up and the scouts and coaches head for the airport and off to the next pro day, so is the same for these players who now get ready to take the next step and sit around and wait for that call and wait to hear their name called, as we heard John Jenkins mention to David Pollock moments ago. And while we talked about the measurables that the NFL teams are looking for, there's a lot of talking too and a lot of figuring out exactly who these guys are off the field. The drills continue for Tavares King as he shows what he can do with his hands. Only wide receiver really that worked out today for the pro scouts here at Georgia Pro Day. All in all, good day for everybody here involved. Glad we were able to bring it to you. You've been watching the Georgia Pro Day from University of Georgia. For David Pollock and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Tom Hart saying so long from Athens, Georgia. To watch this event on replay as well as other events on ESPN, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. Thanks for being with us. So long from Athens.
I can't afford cashmere rolls. I got custom-made sport coat. I got whatever this is.
How you been? Good?
Good. We're going to do one kind of
Sports Center here?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
What are we
What's
doing?
the most we're doing? It's just a Sports Center here. It'll be like 2 minutes. So,
Got to be Jarvis.
okay.
You know, just going through drills. There's nothing that happened that was just insane, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we could just talk about 2 minutes. How you doing?
Microphone up.
Okay. On a cool, crisp morning in Athens, Georgia, time for these former Bulldogs to get the work in at Georgia Pro Day. Tom Hart alongside David Pollock. It should be no surprise that for a dominating defense during last season, those are the stars that we saw today. 3 guys that could be first-round picks that dominated the defensive side of the ball.
And Jarvis Jones is the headliner, probably the guy, the two-time All-American they talk about. But when you also think about other guys across the board, you've got big Alec Ogletree, who's a big, strapping athlete, a freak of an athlete. You got big John Jenkins, who's the nose tackle, who's 350. Now he's a slimmer 350 pounds. Got the workout for everybody today. So you're talking about 3 guys that all the scouts are drooling over. But the number one guy is Jarvis Jones, and he's been the guy that you haven't seen anything from. He didn't do a thing at combines, didn't run 40s, didn't do drills, only just met with coaches and did the medical stuff. And you got to see him go through some of the drills, and he didn't perform tops amongst everybody else, and he's not going to blow away all the linebackers and defensive ends, but he's a guy that's tape speaks for itself. he wasn't overwhelming, but he wasn't a guy that you look at and go, wow, there's some serious concerns. You could see the movement drills is, I think, where he shined the best and could show you that he's a fluid mover and that he's going to be a good player at the next level.
Here are the numbers that he put up today: a 4.85 40 and a vertical jump of 30.5 inch and 20 reps on the bench. But the questions continue around his spinal stenosis, which takes him from Southern Cal here to Georgia, two-time consensus All-American. How do these scouts and head coaches juggle his performance, what he does on a football field, with the questions about his medical future?
I think everybody's going to be different, but one thing I will say is he's proven people wrong already. Tell him he can't play football. He goes from Southern Cal, he goes to Georgia. So I wouldn't doubt the kid. And you know, there's always red flags with all different kinds of players, right? And guys that have been arrested, guys that have been in trouble. His character's pretty flawless. I mean, his play has been pretty flawless over the past couple years. So he's played the last 2 seasons and hadn't any problems. So he's answered most of the questions. And you know, he's a guy that you know, some people probably won't feel comfortable with because of the diagnosis with his neck, but on the whole, he's proven everybody wrong throughout his whole life.
And that question won't be finally answered until draft day on April 25th.
Again, man, stay in this order so we know who you are, all right? Okay. Well, ready, guys? Keep everything down. First man up. We got Marlon Brown has to bench. Sanders Cummings has to bench. Try Spriggs has to bench. Tommy Gathers has to bench. Jarvis. Brett. Okay, here we go. This is Gathers. .343. 343.
Yep. Good job, John. Good job.
Left hand up, left hand up, left hand up.
Go, go. Dig.
Finish.
Control.
Left hand up, come on now.
Keep coming. Keep coming.
Open. Drive. Out. Open. Shit, racks you up. 745. You ready to see those again? You touch both left hands. You want to do it again? You get both left hands down. 244. 244. Nick.
Under control. Go. Turn it on now. Turn it on.
Right, there you go. You better take it, bro. Yeah, because they don't know it's coming from me.